Oh, hello there, my loves. Thank you for dropping by. I didn't see you sneaking in here. Excuse me. I've already been on the ale. Why are we back in my little wizard hovel? Of course, it is to peruse some new books. I've got a haul of 8 absolute beauties to unearth right out in front of us here. I'll flop them out, actually. But before we get to that, we've got the satanic mushrooms, the satanic candle, we have the bells ding-donging in the background, and I've also got a rather fine session IPA here by the name of Steam Brew, purchased at the local Lidl for the princely sum of £1.80. It's 4.9%, and it's got a rather fine design there. Look at this. Steampunk inspired illustration. Let's give it a sip. I've already given it a few glugs, but let's do it for your benefit. It's quite nice. I don't normally go for IPAs. It's not too overly hopped. I don't like too much hops because it weighs heavily on my tits. Anyway, let's cut through the crap and get the first book motherfucking out. Come on, let's do this. Okay, so the first one is another Jack Vance. So yeah, now and then I do collect the odd Jack Vance book. This is the first of the Jourdain series. I believe I've got one of the other ones. I don't think it's this one. I hope it isn't, because I bought it on a whim. This was through eBay, World of Books, and the condition was described as acceptable. It's barely acceptable. I mean, it's been through the ringer. Look, it's been in the jaws of a beast. The cover is quite shagged, but the illustration remains quite nice. Maybe slightly sun damaged, but it's quite nice. It looks like we've got some kind of tundra here, perhaps, and a couple of airships cavorting about. The Anome, Coronet published. Look, it's not bowed so much as bananaed, I would say. The back doesn't fare much better than the front, but there we are. Right, so as this is the beginning of a series, I will read the blurb. So let's see what this is all about, because I don't know anything about the Jourdain series. The Imprisoned. A world of strange ways and stranger people, a land where men and women are marked for life, where they are bound to irrevocable destinies by the proclamations of the faceless man, an unseen power which terrorizes and controls the world. Excuse me. Jourdain is a place where defiance is punished with death, but this kingdom of myriad mystery and incalculable peril is now threatened by menace from without, the dreaded Rogoshkoi, and only one youth, Gastel Etzwain, dares to challenge the unchallengeable, the power of the faceless man in an extraordinary struggle for mastery and for the survival of Jourdain. Okay, so typical Vance there. I know him now for having pretty much unpronounceable names scattered throughout these books, but excellent world building. So I'm looking forward to getting through this. My goodness, this really has been through the ringer. Okay, look at this. It's coming away. It's coming away a little bit. Not too bad. Got $1.99 there, daubed in pencil. That's nice. Let's see when this was published. Originally 1971. This is a 1975 edition. I quite like this font, or the size of the font. Yeah, that's quite agreeable. Various pages folded over, either by mistake or malicious design. But it's okay. It's okay. Look at the state of this. Anyway, whilst you cast your eyes over that cover, if I can get the bastard in my scanner, it's so beveled, I'm just going to do a tiny sniff. Unbelievable. It's always the first book, isn't it? Wood! Yes. Excellent wood vintage from 1975. Fucking hairs are falling out again. Okay, moving on. Right, the next book. So I should probably say here, these are books that have either taken my fancy online, typically eBay, in fact primarily entirely eBay, or they're ones that I've been seeking, or they're ones that people have recommended to me. So as they pop up, I'll mention the people that have recommended them to me. This is my only drink, by the way. I'm not completely fucked yet. So this is my own choice. This is by Greg Egan or Egan. I don't know how you pronounce it. Permutation City. Now I read this exact same edition. I got it from a library, I think, when I was living for a period in Bath, living and studying up there in fine art. Came across this author. Now this is hard science fiction. So hard you could like shoot bullets off it and just ping off. It's pretty hard stuff, and I remember struggling slightly at the beginning, but once I was in it, my God, it was blowing my absolute mind apart. But this is a pretty good quality edition here. Right, I'll read the blurb if you don't mind. So, beyond the boundaries of the human mind and into eternity. Copying human personalities into cyberspace implies a kind of immortality. This isn't the blurb. Anyway, yeah, it's about downloading consciousness into the computer and the ramifications of that. Absolutely brilliant. So I must have read that about, almost 15 years ago, probably. Yeah, about 15 years ago. This one comes from 2003. So this would have been published, this edition, after I read it initially, so, if you will. So the copy I read was probably a 1990 copy from the library, thereabouts. Anyway, yeah, the cover, there's probably been some better covers over the years, I imagine. But I personally don't associate Greg Egan, I'm going to say Egan, with good covers. I mean, this one, I don't even know why I picked this up at the time. It's probably because it's got a skull on it. And you know I have a weakness for skulls. It was probably that. But this, if you haven't read it, it's really worth reading. Anyway, look at that skull for a little bit. And I'll just sniff this 2003 vintage. Oh. Ah. Interesting. Okay, so for a later edition, that has a farmyard smell about it. Yeah, I think we've come across this. Manure. Definitely manure.
Manure! I hate manure!
Okay, for the next one, I'm going to flop a bit of dick out. And it's not mine. It's good old PKD. The Variable Man. I've heard of this, never read it. Quite a lovely edition here. I saw it on his World of Books again. I didn't get the cover I wanted. This is completely different, but I do like it. But it's in far better condition than I thought it would be. It's in this banana yellow, quite a vibrant yellow. Had the way satanic mushrooms are trying to read the book, because the satanic mushrooms do like a bit of dick. Okay, let's get to grips with the blurb here. The war plan was infallible until a man from the past upset the calculations. He was a mistake, an odd-job man from 1913, accidentally deposited in the 22nd century by a histo-research time bubble, and for some reason his arrival upset the computers that predicted the odds in the war raging between Earth and Centaurus. Earth's security forces tried everything from persuasion to nuclear devices to eliminate him, but somehow he kept on escaping from their net. And then someone made the alarming discovery that, without the variable man and his peculiar archaic knowledge, Earth would shortly be wiped off the galactic map. Now this sounds familiar, actually. I may have actually read this in the past. Look at this fucking cobweb on the top there. Or something. But yeah, lovely illustration there. A couple of battle droids or battleships. Look a bit like tanks. I'm wondering if I've read this. It's about a man that can repair anything, if I recall correctly. It may not be that one. But yeah, I've been also looking for books to do with time travel, because as much as I love the time travel theme in science fiction, I've read quite a very few of them. So yeah, that was the idea. Okay, 1977, this edition. Okay, the year that Star Wars came out. That's a good year. Yeah, I don't know if this has been read. I mean, I don't know if it has. Oh, got a line there on the bottom. So this is remaindered stock. So it's quite likely then that no one's ever read this. Yeah, quite nice condition. I do wonder if this is the one I've read. I thought that book I was thinking of was called, what is it? Something like Into something Pot Healer. Something Pot Healer? I don't know. No, it probably wasn't that. Anyway, have a look at the cover. I'm rambling like a bastard tonight. And I'll sniff it. Oh. Oh. There's very little there. Very, very small amount of wood. Okay, it's another Vance. We're back on the Vance. We've got Vance in our pants. This is a Fontana science fiction publication, and it's Maske. Thaery. Never heard of this. I wonder if it's part of a series. Perhaps you can tell me. Now, that is a very disturbing illustration there. No idea what's going on there. Quite psychedelic. But we have got a fellow in the middle that has perhaps a penis-shaped head. Slightly transparent. Looks like the glands of a penis, or the bell end, if you will.
Just punch the tip and twist it.
The spine... Yeah, it's probably this colour. It was probably originally this colour. I don't think it's been light bleached too much. Okay, let's have a look here. A new novel from the Hugo Nebula winning author. In the far reach of the galaxy lay Maske, an ancient planet long inhabited and settled in its bucolic ways. Young Jubal Broad left his ancestral home to make his fortune, but a chance insult from a stranger set him on a quest for revenge, a quest which took him through murder, espionage and kidnap, from the intrigues of Maske's capital city to the far reaches of his own world and beyond. Maske, Thaery, a rich, bizarre and iconic adventure from a master of science fiction. Okay, this looks like a standalone. Cover illustration by Peter Tybus. Now, yes, I did feature him in the penis video about penises appearing on book covers. So yeah, Peter is no stranger to a bit of penisry in his illustration. So yeah, I think he's got another cock in there. Good man. Right, let's have a look here. 1978. Okay, another pretty old one. And he's dedicated this one to Norma. Who was Norma? Okay, we've got a nice little map here. This is quite nice for a Vance book. Don't always get maps. I'm not keen on it, to be fair, but there we are. But yeah, we've got a nice map. Very simple. Oh, and another one. Long Ocean. There's another territory here. An island, perhaps, divided into territories. Right. So I've come across this in, I think it was The Grey Prince I read back along. Lots of annotations at the bottom of the page to add flesh to the bones of the world building. I'm not a fan of that, to be honest, but I'll forgive Vance for it because they're usually very interesting. Okay, some cretin has taken the book and gone like that, and it's it's fucked it at this page. I don't like it when that happens, but some people like to rough up their books before reading. I don't like doing that. Anyway, to cast your eyes over Peter Tybus's illustration of a bell-ended man and tell me what you think. I'm going to sniff the fucker. Okay, yeah. Oh, we haven't had him for a while. Quite fitting as well, as the bells are still donging away. That is a church pew. So we've got a fair dollop of wood and also a little scattering of fecal matter. Quite nice. Doesn't really taste like an IPA, I don't think. Tastes like a pop. A soda pop. Oh, I've got an absolute beauty ready to come out next. Prepare your tits. Okay, this next book was a recommendation from Peter from the Sci-Fi Shed. Almost forgot the title there. I'll put a link down below. Good chap down in Australia. He recommended this one. The Big Time by Fritz Leiber. Yeah, this won the Hugo Award. So, yeah, he covers a lot of books that have won the Hugo. I chose this cover specifically because it's an absolute cracker. And it's from 1969. And look at this. I mean, there's scantily clad young women on there in various provocative poses. And we've got some kind of, what do you call that? A satyr? Some kind of mythical beast. Got horns there and cloven feet. The condition of the book isn't too bad for 1969. The spine has a bevel to it, so it's been read in a strong hand. And the back is not too bad. Okay, so the UK price, we've got I don't know what that would be. 4 pence or 4 shillings? I'm not quite sure. Okay, let's read the blurb. So again, this is on the theme of time travel. Greta Forzane was no ordinary hostess. True, it was her job to entertain, but the soldiers she amused were recovering from battles fought in the biggest war ever. A war in which they travelled back in time to change the past, or ahead to mould the future. History, as Greta knew it, had already drastically altered. The Nazis won World War II and have an empire stretching from Kansas to Siberia. The American Civil War never occurred. The Roman Empire was crushed before it really began. Crikey! And now Greta had heard that a nuclear bomb was to be taken back to ancient Egypt. The Big Time is original, exciting, terrifying, and undoubtedly a unique science fiction classic by one of today's most brilliant and imaginative writers. Sorry, I'm constantly on the verge of being sick or belching. Okay, this is a new English Library edition by all accounts. Yeah, new English Library. Wonderful cover though, but you can have a peek at that later. Okay, so in the front cover there, someone's written 20 pence in pencil. Wonderful hand, wonderful script. I like that. I do like that. Yeah, people had better writing back then, handwriting. So originally copyrighted at 1961 there, but this one is from 69. Wonderful condition, slight browning there, so we're probably going to have quite a toasty aroma to sniff at later. In fact, each of the pages look like aged parchment of the variety you would normally find a treasure map on. Look at this one. Look at that. It's really been through the mill. Quite a short book by the looks of it. But yeah, he recommended this. On the final page, Peter recommended this. On the final page, we've got a little star. What does that mean? Now that could be a clue as to some kind of puzzle to solve. Probably not. But anyway, cast your eyes over that fantastic cover. The cover actually, I mean, the colours are still so vibrant from being from 1969, the year that the Americans landed on the moon. Can you believe it? So it's been cared for well. Anyway. Oh, this is lovely. Very, very nice indeed. So, yeah, sometimes when you go back to the 60s or thereabouts, you can get a very nice sweet aroma. Okay, this is a syrup-coated piece of wood. Indeed. Yeah, someone's slathered syrup all over a nice hard bit of wood. Okay, there's no time to pause here. The next one was recommended by my friend Christian down in not Australia, Argentina, a friend of the channel. He said he was reading a bit of Harry Harrison. In fact, he read this particular one, Plague from Space. He said it was really, it was pretty terrible, but it featured a cracking red-haired young woman. Those weren't his words, but he said that I think some of his books contain a red-headed lady. So those 2 points set my Geiger counter quivering in anticipation. I like shitty books, as you all know, so this one could tickle my pickle quite nicely. The cover is quite nice. Some kind of medical craft here, and some kind of structure in the background there. I don't know what that would be. A mysterious construction and some kind of hovering craft there. Very nice condition. The spine is immaculate. Look at it. I don't think this has been read. In fact, I'm bloody sure it hasn't. Has it remained in stock? Doesn't seem to be. Let's read the blurb here and see if this is the kind of stuff we like to deal with here. Spacecraft, Pericles. Type, manned exploration. Destination, Jupiter. Cargo, extinction. Bertolli was there when the Pericles returned to Earth. He was the first to reach Commander Rand as he staggered, hideously disfigured and close to death from the crew's cabin. From that moment, Dr. Bertolli became the front line of defense against a savage epidemic that threatened to extinguish life on Earth. Compulsive reading, Financial Times, excellently done, Brian Aldiss. Okay, so there's quite an endorsement there. Now, yes, the premise sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Some kind of weird plague that's hoofed its way from Jupiter to our beloved blue world. But yeah, it could be shite. Right, this edition, it says 1978, but then reprinted in 1981. So unless this has gone back in time, yeah, this is 1981. To Hubert Pritchard, in memory of the many fine days since 117. That's a cryptic message indeed. Quite nicely printed there. Quite a nice dark hue to the ink. That's quite agreeable, but no hidden banknotes or treasure maps. Yeah, it's pretty good for 81. Okay, cast your eyes over the cover and I'll sniff the fucker. Oh my goodness. Absolutely nothing. This has got nothing. Can you believe it? A book of that age not having any scent. Disgraceful. Okay, believe it or not, I'm going to slap another bit of dick in your face. Right, here we go. The world Jones made. I almost said the world Tom Jones made, but no, the world Jones made. Dick was perhaps the first real genius to have worked in the science fictional mode since the days of Stapleton. Brian Aldiss again. Okay, endorsing a book. Now, I chose this just because the cover is absolutely cracking. Of course, we have a potential penis in the background there, which always takes my fancy. I think it may have had a bit of sun damage. The cover I've seen online is far more vibrant, but it's not too bad. And I think if we turn the spine here, the spine has been blasted to within an inch of its life by perhaps the remnants of a supernova. Yeah, so all traces of red pigment have been blasted off it. But I think red is a bit dodgy, isn't it, in terms of printing. Cars, isn't it? I remember red cars used to fade to a kind of dirty pink colour. I don't think that happens anymore, but there we are. I'm rambling. Okay, I'll read the blurb if you don't mind. Skip ahead if you don't fancy it. Relativism. After the war, amid the radiation of rubble, a world government is established based on relativism. People can do whatever they like take heroin, fornicate in the street, and believe whatever they like, so long as they don't tell anyone else what to do or what to believe in. That sounds all right. God, underground police enforce the new law, dedicated people such as Cusick. Cusick hopes that God is a thing of the past, along with war, at last. What he doesn't expect is the rise of the devil. That's when the devil comes out, when everyone's having a good time. Okay, Jones. Jones has a mutant ability to see 1 year into the future. Has a slight time travel bent to this, perhaps, at least in foretelling. I didn't realise that, I just picked it on the cover. He soars to power, then dictatorship in an orgy of burning and death, his own evil vision of what is to come. Despite this, Jones sees himself as Christ. He is Cusick's ultimate enemy. Worse, he has stolen Cusick's wife. But what can one man do? Again, this is dealing with wives and them being stolen or estranged wives by the looks of it. Philip K. Dick remains strictly a cult figure. Blah, blah, blah. Yep, we all know all that. Let's have a look, see when this edition was printed. Okay, it's quite a late one, so in 1994. And originally, the copyright is 1956. To F. Konigsberg, who talked fast and talked very well. I can do neither. Right, I talk fairly fast, perhaps. I don't talk well. Okay, nothing going on there. We've got a bastard barcode in the front there, but otherwise, pretty nice condition. Okay, check out that cover. I'll probably alter the slightly bleached look of it and hopefully make it look nicer. Oh. Again, it doesn't smell. I don't know what's going on here. Something's going on. It could be my palate needs cleansing. If you sniff the webbing between your fingers, it can reset it. Okay, pro tip if you're into sniffing books. Okay, the last one. We've had the dick. Now let's have a bit of cock. It's Michael Moorcock. I didn't actually. It's like I've set this up, but I haven't. I just got these randomly to turf out in front of you. Michael Moorcock's Behold the Man. So I've been meaning to get this for a while now, and I believe Rich of the Retro Engine was the first to recommend this to me a long time ago, but it stuck in my head. I saw it on World of Books. There was an offer going. I purchased the fucker, and I got this really nice old cover of a spacesuited man emerging from what looks like a fucking great egg. So yes, right. The spine has a line through it as though it's been scored by an errant laser beam. And we have a blurb. So I'm going to read this. Michael Moorcock stands in relation to the world of science fiction much as Poe did in relation to the Gothic novel. In Behold the Man, he has gone further in point of imaginative outrage than ever before and further than any previous writer in the genre. Moorcock's Carl Glogor travels backwards in time, again time travel, in search of the truth about the crucifixion. He finds more than he bargained for, a drooling idiot Jesus confined to a back room of the carpenter's shop, an animal Mary Joseph on the make. I remember now. Christ seems nowhere shall we say, until Glogor rides into Jerusalem on a donkey. Here is a writer of rare talent who has stumbled on an idea so dangerous and brilliant that scarcely any living writer could do justice to it. That sounds interesting. So yeah, a time traveller becomes a de facto Jesus in place of this gibbering idiot who's in the back of the... it is blasphemous if you are religious, of a religious persuasion. I'm sure it would be. Okay, so 1980 for this one. For Tom Dish. Yeah, that's another great writer. I've only read one of his books, The Genocides. That was very, very good. Post-apocalyptic, grim, bleak, but yeah, quite interesting. About kind of these plants fucking up the earth. Massive plants. Anyway, I'm getting off piste here. Okay, someone again has taken the book and snapped the fuck out of it. Naughty. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this. I still haven't read any books by Michael Moorcock, despite the fact I now have an absolute bevy of them in my bookshelf. But I'm going to turf them out en masse on another episode and we can go through them together. But anyway, cast your eyes over that egg and the cretin that's crawling out of it. Fucking hair's coming out everywhere. Yeah, I'm going to be bold on the next episode. And yeah, I'll sniff it. Oh, wow. This one's pungent. Oh. Oh, this is very, very strong. It's not wood. It's an amalgamation. I think we've got a bit of tobacco. And we've got some disinfectant. And a little bit of shit. But yeah, quite pungent. Quite nice though. Yeah, I'd sniff that again. Okay, right, there we are. Reached the end. 8 crackers. Now, if you were to have me read one of those first, which would it be? Because I might just read it. But yeah, I would gladly read any of those, I would say. Apart from the Jack Vance, the Duradane one, I don't think I'm quite prepared for another series yet. I'm still trying to get through the Amtrak Wars ones. I'm on the 3rd book now, halfway through the 3rd book. And yeah, so that's taking up my time at the moment. Anyway, I'll have another book haul coming soon because I've got another 8 books to show you. And I've got a backlog of books that I haven't reviewed yet, so that will be coming also. I'm also beavering away at various other paintings, and I'll turf them out once they're finished. But anyway, until then, my loves, I will bid you good evening, happy bell ringing, get those bells polished, and I'll see you next week. Cheerio. Satanic Candle's absolutely fucked.